All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
Welcome to the Ninja A-League Highlights Show. We begin with the midweek Round 10 fixture between Perth Glory and Sydney FC at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. A win for the home side would catapult them into second place on the competition ladder. Coach Stephen Peters made two changes to the side that was beaten 2-0 by Melbourne City in their last outing. Misha Anderson replaced an injured Tian McKenna, and Roller Badawia returned to the starting 11 as Charlie Wainwright dropped back to the bench. For the visitors, Ante Juric made just one change to the team that shared the points with Melbourne Victory last weekend. American striker Jody Ukekal was brought into the side as 17-year-old Sky Halmerick took her place on the bench.
Onyeniechi Zog dashing forward, turning defence into attack. Now Roller Badawia cuts onto her right, Badawia! And it's wide to the left. Did it get a touch from the goalkeeper? It did. Corner kick coming up for the Glory. Pearson nudged by Badawia. Badawia who bounces back to her feet. First time cross is high and hopeful, and Hinds knew exactly where the goal line was. Here's O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue waits for the advance of Badawia, and a good save by Hinds. Nothing getting past the Sydney FC goalkeeper. Here comes the corner. Over the head of Badawia, goes the wrong way off the head of Pearson. Fonsong Cam, O'Donoghue onto the roof of the net. Here's Fenton taking a throw in. Jody Ukekal. Great pass, setting Tanner through the left. Tanner cuts it back over the bar. What an introduction that would have been for Mackenzie Hawkesby. Oh, giveaway here that's going to invite on Jody Ukekal for Sydney FC. Ukekal plays it to Tanner. Moment of truth over the bar. Anderson got a deflection on the ball. The Perth local swings in the corner, and Chimet's touch prodded to its goal by Asen and Clear. Perth had enough numbers back, and their goal continues to live a charmed life. Perth reload. Badawia is going to get back on side. Tova! And Heather Hinds says, don't you forget about me. Fresh legs coming on against Kirsty Fenton, but Fenton has been harassed into giving the ball away. Gabby Holler, back to Ella Lincoln. Can Lincoln free the feet? Saved by Hinds again, and the follow-up is held on to. This time it's Morrissey batting it away. Lookmeyer blocked and then shoveled clear. Tanner at close range. Sydney FC go west and get a point. Perth Glory had the chance to go second. Instead, they remain outside the top six. It finished Perth Glory 0, Sydney FC 0.
To round 15, a weekend when every team in the Ninja A-League honoured the contribution to Australian football of Rado Vidosic, who lost his fight with cancer on January 27 at age 64. A premiership and championship winning coach, Vidosic's legacy has been felt well beyond the pitch after he worked tirelessly to improve players, coaches and staff around him for almost 20 years. In recognition of Rado's contribution to the game, players, coaches and fans took part in a moment of applause before each match.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Brisbane Roar hosted Central Coast Mariners in the opening game of the round at Spencer Park on Friday night. Matilda's winger Sian Fryer returned to the starting lineup for the home side as Kira Myers dropped back to the bench. The Mariners brought Liz Barwick-Gray back into the run-on side along with Tamar Levin, who made her Central Coast debut against her former side.
Rasmussen can turn and face. Threaded ball finds Tamar Levin, her first start against her former team. Well, wouldn't that be a magical opening? Tamar Levin. Well, really transitional at the moment. Here's Janssen, slips it through. If Miller can get there first, and she does! Well, it's a really well-taken finish by Ashlyn Miller. And they slice through the Mariners' defence like butter. Brisbane at home, they're loving life at Spencer Park. They've taken the lead. Nice off the shoulder to Rasmussen. Good use of body. Annalise Rasmussen brought to the ground. Referee does not hesitate, points right to the spot. Composed. Annalise Rasmussen, the whistle goes, and from 12 yards, she makes no mistake. It's a coolly taken penalty. Back on level terms at Spencer Park, we have a game on our hands. She'll try from distance. Well, plenty of the spectacular off the boot of Momo Hayashi. Whistle goes. Hayashi, long runner. Momo Hayashi's strike. Well, it was off the boot nicely into the hands of Annalie Grove, who got a good sighting of it. Long effort. Oh, wow. Well, it's absolutely caught. Annalie Grove off her line. Against the runner play, a flash in the pan moment. That's a nice bit of play by the Mariners through to Rasmussen. She can make it a brace for the afternoon, and she does. Ruthless Annalise Rasmussen. What an important finish that is. Her 11th of the season. But in the context of this game, that is a huge goal. Trimmers now, driving into space, slows just for a minute, back on her right foot. Peter Trimmers. Oh, well, that's not too far away at all. Just skips off the crossbar. She's had some special finishes this season. All square here at Spencer Park in what was an arm wrestle of a fixture. So just the second time in history this matchup has ended in a draw. The points are shared as both teams rise to 19 points on the ladder. We finish full-time at Spencer Park. Brisbane Roar 2, Central Coast Mariners 2.
At McKellar Park, Canberra United was aiming to arrest a two-game losing streak when Melbourne Victory visited the national capital. Emma Hawkins, Nanako Sasaki and Tegan Bertolicio all returned to the starting 11 after last week's loss in Brisbane. Melbourne Victory was unchanged from the team that was held to a scoreless draw by Sydney last time out. Incredibly, Rihanna Policina returned to the bench just 2 weeks after breaking her wrist against Adelaide.
Saveska plays the short corner instead. Rachel Lowe with a first-time strike, batted down by James, and then an improvised over-the-shoulder kick is held on to at the second time of asking. That was well struck by Rachel Lowe. Pass Mrs. Taylor-Ray, seized upon by Hayley Taylor-Young. Michelle Heyman at the edge of the box, keeps it moving. Sasha Grove first time. Could not strike it beyond the reach of Courtney Newbon. The pressure remains on. And Heyman with a 1-2 and blocked away. Josie Olasino so close to that second goal. Gets back onside. Olasino and a foul by Bunge. And Beck Mackey reaches for a red card. Claudia Bunge has been sent off. Melbourne Victory lose a player. Here's Morrison. Now Kennedy White. Trying to hold off Anton. It's White! Victory lead! What a great finish from Kennedy White. And in spite of being down a player due to the red card, Melbourne Victory out of the rooms at the start of the second half have stung Canberra. Sasha Grove's available on the wing. Grove drives across, parried Hawkins into the crossbar. How did that stay out? Here's Olasino breaking into the box. Josie Olasino hits the post. Sasha Grove, Canberra equaliser. Relief for the home side. They do make the player advantage count. And it's all smiles in the grandstand at McKellar Park. Heyman. Stanic-Floody. What an introduction! Mary Stanic-Floody. Barely on the pitch for a minute, and Canberra are in front. She is a super boot, Mary Stanic-Floody. Now a more conventional delivery. And the header is there for 3. Canberra United have a buffer. And the congratulations come for Tegan Vidosic. And Canberra United jump back up to second on the Ninja A-League table. A come-from-behind win against the Melbourne Victory. And they do the season double over the Victory and condemn them to another week outside the top 6. It's full-time, Canberra United 3, Melbourne Victory 1.
The 28th Sydney Derby took place at Allianz Stadium as the Sky Blues looked to extend a 12-game unbeaten run against their Western Sydney opponents. Sydney was without American goalkeeper Heather Hinz, who was replaced by Tiana Robertson. Captain Sarah Hunter and defender Kirsty Fenton each made their 50th appearance for the club. For the Wanderers, who were coming off a 2-1 win against the Mariners last round, Amy Chisari replaced Olivia Price, who suffered an injury in the warm-up. And Ella Buchanan returned to the starting lineup as Millie Bennett dropped back to the bench.
Headed off at the pass that time by 15-year-old Willa Pearson. Really nice work. Great breakaway this. It's Riley Tanner! It's a Sky Blue breakthrough in the Sydney Derby. Riley Tanner gets the hosts off to the perfect start on the big day. And after their struggles in front of goal, that one is a welcome tonic and a great finish. And the Wanderers pick it up. Chisari, Amy Chisari! Finally! At long, long last, the Wanderers Derby goal drought is over. And what a way to break it. Amy Chisari with her first goal in the Ninja A-League. Chops it inside to Eunice. Clever first touch. Kong breaking into open space. And it's a great save from Tiana Robertson to turn it round the post. Talia Eunice heads short. Amy Harrison bending ball into the box. Allowed to drop inside. Wanderers lead. Alyssa Rungsad off the bench onto the score sheet. And the Hoodoos continue to tumble for the Wanderers. Bent in by Eunice. Kong! The Wanderers are too clear. And today could well be the day that the Derby drought comes to an end. 20 minutes to play, and Yuan Kong has put the Wanderers too clear on Derby Day. Options left and right. She heads for Jodie Ukeckel. Corbett. Wonderful pass through the lines. Amber Lookmeyer. Goal back for Sydney. Game on in the Derby. 7 minutes of regulation to play. And a first goal in over a year for Amber Lookmeyer has us set up for a grandstand finish at Allianz.
Western Sydney Wanderers are sitting quite deep here, and you can see when Willa Pearson or Asen are on the ball, they've got to really start to attack forward in that space to be able to go forward and break these lines here. They don't have much time left, and they've got to make the most of it.
Oh, and here's an opportunity for Riley Tanner. Big save from Cars. Claire Corbett, another huge stop. Corbett inside, Wanderers clear. And they were nearly the agents of their own demise. And Western Sydney's day of Derby deliverance is finally upon us. 2,234 days the Wanderers have waited to turn Sydney red and black. And they did it in a derby epic after 12 failed attempts. The full-time score, Sydney FC 2, Western Sydney Wanderers 3.
At Coopers Stadium, Adelaide United faced a litmus test against league leaders Melbourne City. Second place on the ladder was up for grabs if the Reds could break a 5-year hoodoo against their opponents. Theo Siunis made 2 changes to the team that lost in Wellington last week. Captain Isabel Hodgson and Emily Condon returned to the starting 11 in place of Chelsea Dorber and Adriana Taranto, who were listed on the bench. Michael Matriciani also made 2 changes to the side that defeated Perth Glory. Shelby McMahon was back from a knee injury and Chinaza Uchendu had recovered from concussion. Alexia Apostolakis and Briley Henry took their place on the bench.
Now here's Healy. Wirtz is in the middle. She can find her all the way across. And Adelaide United take the lead. Fiona Wirtz will claim it. Are they on their way to a rare victory against the defending premiers? Condon's delivery right into the mixer. And it's Tonkin who heads it home for Adelaide. They double their advantage at home against the defending premiers. Adelaide United continue their dominance from corners. This time on her left at the front post. The header was won by Taylor Rado. It hit Uchendu. That's a nice ball over the top for 18 Keane. Keane cutting back inside, trying to find a shooting angle. McKenna! She gets one back for Melbourne City. Letitia McKenna scores her second of the season. There is always life in this Melbourne City side. Apostolakis in behind. Alexia Apostolakis across the face. Tonkin, McNamara. What a block from Ella Tonkin. She scored the goal to give them a 2-goal advantage, and then that may well be a goal-saving block. Towards the back post, the header won by Tonkin. Mirez is diving, can't hold on. Comes out to Taranto. Dorber. Ball across the face towards the back post. Healy is there. Stott clears it from the ground, and now Wirtz off the body of Apostolakis. He'll go to ground and just need a moment here to recover. Healy happy enough to let it roll out of play. Adriana Taranto still with the ball, cutting inside, looking for a shooting angle. Instead, the pass central. For only the second time in their history, Adelaide United have defeated Melbourne City. It's been a drought of 1,836 days, but in front of their home fans at Coopers Stadium, they've done it. It moves them up to second on the table. It is a statement victory from the Reds, full-time in Coopers. It is Adelaide United 2, Melbourne City 1.
Finally, to the number 2 sports ground in Newcastle, where the Jets were looking to return to the winners list after a 2-1 home loss to Adelaide in their last outing 11 days earlier. Stephen Hoyle made 5 changes to the starting 11 that faced the Reds. Goalkeeper Georgia Ritchie made her Ninja A-League debut in place of Kiwi international Anna Leet. Bev Priestman made a solitary change to the team that defeated Adelaide at Pororua Park, with Mania Elliott coming in for Lara Wall.
Jale dispossessed by Libby Copus-Brown. Sophie Hoban leads a counter-attack. Joined by Josie Allen. Wellington scrambling back. Hoban, and it slides wide. Didn't have to hit it with any real force. It was all about positioning, and Melina Reyes lurking. Back to the action as Elliott applies the press. Jale, Vlock, edge of the box, free to shoot, and Wellington lead away. Pia Vlock Third goal of the season for the 17-year-old. We'll stay with Vlock shooting again at her second. It's all happening for Wellington. And the young sensation, Pia Vlock, has a quick-fire double. Elliott. Dundas interrupting, only briefly though. Pynenberg, 3 for Wellington. And a first Ninja A-League goal for the Football Fern. Big pack of players waiting on the goal line. Elliott, good defensive header by Wilson. Lucia Leon, Ellie Walker, 4. And it's another first-time Phoenix goal scorer, the American defender, Ellie Walker celebrates. Michaela Woods on the turn, off the post and into the gloves of Ritchie. Well, the width of the post away from 5-0 in half an hour. Well, the Jets starting to work through the gears, looking a bit more fluid in attack. Can Wellington sting them on the counter though? Here's Pia Vlock. Tash Pryor in pursuit. Vlock cuts onto her left. It's a hat-trick for Pia Vlock. The second youngest hat-trick scorer in the history of the Ninja A-League. Newcastle looking to sling end to end. Josie Allen, a little chip and a good save, and Vic Essen with the save of the game so far.
That is the save of the game.
In the meantime, Newcastle are on the attack. Josie Allen, it's been a nearly day for her. And now Collins with a shot, and Ayres makes it 4-4 against the Wellington Phoenix. She was not to be denied, and neither were Newcastle. It's 5-1, and Ayres runs the ball back to the middle after scoring. The referee has pointed both teams to the sideline for safety reasons, so at 87 minutes and 30 seconds, play is suspended due to a weather hazard. Newcastle Jets 1, Wellington Phoenix 5. The decision has come from the match commissioner and the officiating crew that is a full-time score. Players will not be returning to the pitch to complete the final 2.5 minutes and stoppage time.
A third straight win for the Phoenix sees them retain second place on the ladder, level on points with Canberra United, but ahead on goal difference. Melbourne City's lead at the top has been trimmed to 2 points, while at the bottom, the Wanderers' win in the Sydney Derby saw them draw level with the Sky Blues on 12 points. Join us again next week for another action-packed edition of the Ninja Highlights Show, headlined by the top 6 clash between Melbourne City and Brisbane Roar. Until then, it's goodbye.